I'm back. I'm back in the saddle. It's a new saddle, actually. Bullies very kindly sent me out a new chair. I've had to take one of the arms off because guitar. And can you believe nobody out there makes a third-party flippable 4D armrest with all the fancy directional gubbins? Gap in the market there. I'll be your first customer, believe me, you know me. I've always got a problem I need to solve. But yeah, my brother came around Boxing Day, gave me an illness. I haven't been this ill since 2022, May, when I went to Bristol, got COVID. That was a fun holiday. He's in my bad books, he knows. But yeah, I've started back teaching again because I can't be off work forever. I've got a gas bill. And yeah, I've been teaching a lovely guy called Bruce how to play Reptilia by The Strokes, his request. And I thought today we could dive into it a little bit more. When I learnt songs when I was a kid, teenager, maybe I just learnt them quick because we had to cover it for a gig, or it was just for my own personal enjoyment. I didn't delve into the theory of things as much. I would work out the solos and have a rough idea of what's going on, but how I understand songs now is so much more useful to me as a player or a writer, and that's how I teach as well. I try not to leave out any of that information because you'll learn it, you take it with you and make you better. And I want to kind of talk about some of the cool things about this. I'm going to call it an indie rock masterpiece, I think, with a really badass guitar solo, and it's just laced with complex, phenomenal riffs that would also double up as a warm-up. Anyway, let's take a look at it. The verse is in B Dorian and the chorus is in B Aeolian. And the average Joe wouldn't notice because they're hammered, jumping around, enjoying the song live. And but we need to know because we're in the band. So the chords that go behind the main riff or the verse, B minor and E major. And this is the main riff. The giveaway to that being in B Dorian is this note here, G sharp. If we were to run through the B Aeolian mode, or the natural minor scale, that note isn't there. We have a G here, which is our minor 6, and you can hear that note in relation to the B. It's quite dark and moody, and that's not how Reptilia sounds, at least not the main riff, right? So if we replace that minor 6 with a major 6, brightens it up a little bit, gives it hope. If you play the Dorian mode and you don't turn your head when that major 6 comes in, are you even playing the Dorian mode? Probably not. It's a natural reflex, that's when you know you've got it right. But yeah, that is a scale that you should know, modal scale. And if you understand the interval difference, and you didn't before, congratulations, you've learnt the first new thing of 2025. That is impressive. And it was free. Now, this goes into the main riff more, as well as motorbikes driving past the window. They also go into the main riff, and it pisses me off continually. The first part of the main riff goes like this. We look at those intervals, we're hitting the minor third, then the root, and then the minor 7. over the B minor, great. Then we shift to the 6 on the D, the 9, then back up to the 7. So that's now major 6, the B, root, minor 3rd. But we know that the chord changes to E there, right? So that G sharp, as well as being the major 6, the B, if we look at it in relation to the actual chord, it's the major 3rd of E. So it's an excellent note to choose over that chord. And if we played the minor 6 over that E, it would sound shit, because you've got an E major and then you would be playing the minor 3rd of E at the same time. Only Hans Zimmer needs that kind of thing, as and when. Hopefully you can see that having the knowledge and understanding of the intervals and the modal scale there just brings it to life for you. And, you know, if you wanted to write a riff that sounded like that, you could try experiment with writing a riff inside Dorian mode, as opposed to just pentatonic or natural minor, I don't know. But yeah, it gives you more context than just learning a riff and then moving on to the next riff. Let's have a look at the chorus now. It's where it gets fiddly, we'll say, right? Very cool slidey harmony riff. Let's look what's going on. So we're up at the 14th fret of the A and the 15th fret of the B. So what you need to do here is have your index finger draped across the strings. You're fretting that B note on the 14th fret of the D, and then you're muting 2 middle strings, fretting the 15 with the 3rd finger, and then muting that high E as well. And you're just going to be doing this down up pattern, and then everything else is kind of syncopated, and we hit up strokes and slide. So this is the root note and the minor 3rd of a B minor. So B minor, and then we slide down to the 9th fret, F sharp minor. Now we slide up to 10 and 12, so you're going to push that 3rd finger up a semitone, which makes it a G major. Up 2 more frets to the 12th fret, A major, back to G, back to A, F sharp minor, and then back up to B minor. Palindromic, if that is a word. Now those chords, B minor, F sharp minor, G major, and A major, you probably already figured it out, right? Because before we had a G sharp in the Dorian mode, and it replaced that G, the minor 6. Now that G major is present as a chord, that tells me that it's gone to B Aeolian, or B natural minor. Because if we looked at the chords in the key of B minor, you've got B minor, C sharp diminished, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, and then A major, or. So those are all the chords present in the rhythm section in the chorus. You're learning modes. You're talking advanced theory here. Let me come up with the pub name. Steve from the pub. He doesn't know that. You do, because you're here with me, putting in the work, putting in the hours. Next time you get a pint of Robbie's, you tell him about the difference between Dorian and Aeolian, and watch his face hit the floor, believe me. Anyway, moving on. It's basically 3 little riffs because the middle one repeats twice, okay? Here's the first one. 12, 11, 10, and that's going to be B, G, B. roll that index finger up to the top, flat roll. And then I like to go pinky on the 14th fret of the B, note C sharp, right? Rather than going back there, I don't know, I like it to be stretched rather than kind of like sliding back. That's just me. Back to that 11, and then the 10, 12 on the B again. If you use your pinky for that last 12th fret, even though you didn't start with it, it allows you to kind of like swing and open this hand up down the fretboard this way, preparing you for the next stretch, which goes between 12 and 8 on the B string, okay? Those little decisions, it's efficiency on the fretboard, right? 10, 9 on the high E. Now we can use that C sharp in this position. Drop down to the 10 with the pinky on the B string, and then 12, 9 on the high E. So twice in a row. And then the last time, pain in the arse this riff, but again, good practice. So 11, 12, 11 on the G, 9, 10 on the high E, pinky on the 12 on the B, third finger, the 11 on the G, back to index on that C sharp, 9th fret of the high E. The first riff ends with the same note, second riff starts, so it's that B, back to back. It's the only time I think you get 2 back-to-back notes, right? So alternate your picking as you do it. String skipping exercise, alternate picking, you can kind of just shut your brain off and stick to the same fingers I've used for a bit of a workout. That's what it does at the end of the track. Let's get that arm up there. There we go, done. We have hopefully took a partial deep dive into some of the theory behind what makes Reptilia by the Strokes an all-time indie banger. Let's just say that. And hopefully it's not blown your mind too much. If you've played scales and you have a basic concept of modes, intervals, this is just hopefully a good lesson in kind of thinking a little bit more as you learn a song, and not just paint by numbers, like put that finger on that fret, play that, and that's that song, and then on to the next, because you'll start to see habits or things that are familiar definitely within the same catalogue of an artist. You do other stroke songs, you'll see similar things happening. But like you go on to another song, it shouldn't be like starting again every time. You should be snowballing. And I just thought this would shine some light in a good way. If you want tabs for the full song, backing tracks, head to Patreon. Help me. It helps support the channel, helps me afford night nurse and antihistamines at the moment as well. But yeah, that was a fun way to start the year, and hopefully you've learned something new. I'm gonna go because I'm sick of the sound of my own nasally PAF tone. I'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching.